Tupac did have a very difficult time in prison, but it wasn't what you think. I have the document to prove it and what kind of problems he actually did have. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button notification. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, if you would like to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and hit what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have documentation as to the trouble that Tupac actually did have while he was in prison. This is legal documentation. And like I said, there's been a lot of stories that people have told over the internet in which they make blanket statements with no corroborating evidence, no information, no audio, no nothing, based on things that they've heard. So basically, you would consider the information that they're pushing out there as hearsay, right? And so what I've brought to you today is to prove that most of the time when you say somebody having problems in jail, it's believed to be that there's pressure from inmates, that they're being taken advantage of in some kind of way, shape, or form. And from the video that I did prior to this one, which this is new information right here, I proved to you by Tupac's own words, nothing that I said or insinuated or information that I'm trying to plant to you or give to you as to what I think, but basically in Tupac's own words of what was happening. But this information that I bring you today is new information in regards to what your knowledge is, and to understand that Tupac did have a difficulty in prison, but the difficulty that Tupac had was, I would say, in some way, shape, or form, some of the worst of difficulties that you possibly could have. You know what I mean? On one end, you know, if you cool with the guards and the guards cool with you, you can get stuff that no other inmate really could have. You could get a cell phone, you could get extra food, you can get food from outside, you can get all of those things. But this information in particular that I have for you, this documentation, is proof beyond any shadow of a doubt that Tupac did have difficulty in prison, but it didn't come from the inmates. It mainly came basically from the guards. And so I'm going to get right into it. So this documentation right here, Chukwe Lumumba, attorney at law, and this was one of Tupac's lawyers, and this came from his Tupac's lawyer from the law offices basically to the jail. And this is some of the things that Tupac wanted to be addressed in regards to that, right? And this is dealing, this letter is to the captain of the COs, you know, at the jail at that particular time. Basically, it says, referring to Mr. Tupac Shakur, prison number 95A1140, request for a meeting to discuss the concerns of Mr. Shakur. It says, dear Captain Faulkner, I refer to the discussion between yourself and the writer this morning in respect of the above matter. And I wish to confirm that we represent Mr. Tupac Shakur, who has given us instructions to raise some issues relating to treatment by prison guards. Mr. Shakur has become very concerned about what he describes as harassment by prison guards. Our instructions are that Mr. Shakur is being subjected to various forms of harassment, which includes, but is not limited to, guards harassing his wife when she comes to visit him, guards tearing up his legal papers, utterances by some guards that they are members of the KKK who can take care of him, and like you said, among among other things, but it's not limited to these things. Mr. Shakur has given the names of the guards: Lacey, Ireland, Woody, Dragon, and Rock. When our senior attorney, Mr. Chukwe Lumumba, visits him on Monday, September 17th, he will furnish us with some of the more details regarding these allegations. As I indicated to you in our discussion, Mr. Lumumba would like to meet with you to discuss our client's concerns when he visits Mr. Shakur on Monday. I thank you for your time and look forward to your cooperation in addressing our client's concerns. Sincerely, Vernon Seymour. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the facts. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, Tupac was being harassed in prison. And this is the letter from his lawyers, basically, saying that they would like to meet with the captain, probably as well as the warden, letting them know that Tupac, once again, I tried to explain, Tupac was on top of his business. And as we know that Chukwe Lumumba wasn't Tupac's attorney during the case that sent him to prison, but evidently Tupac had reached out to Chukwe Lumumba in regards to representing him in this situation involving the guards inside of the prison. Now, like I said, who knew that the guards basically were harassing Tupac's wife at that time? Keisha Morris, right? Basically, who knew that the guards at that particular time were tearing up Tupac's legal papers? And this is a thing that sometimes they do, to stop you from being able to fight your case, because now you got to request these new legal documents and so on and so forth. They go into your cell, rip your information up, rip your letters up, rip your mail up, and utterances by, guards that they were with, the KKK or whatever, in respect of that situation, and that they could take care of Tupac, right? But what I find interesting was, and most people see, this is the thing where we get this the snitching thing messed up. Mr. Tupac, not only did he address the situation with his attorney, but Tupac was smart enough to actually write down the guards' names. You know what I mean? In his communication with his attorneys, or better yet, communication, whether it was over the phone or whether he wrote them a letter. Guards named Lacey, Ireland, Woody, Dragon, and Rock. And like I said, and basically Tupac's lawyer basically was saying, and I'll let you know some of the other instances and where, and I'm sure, because Tupac said as much, that they call him, a nigger, and so on and so forth. So yeah, he said that in the interview. But this here is proof positive that Tupac did have trouble in prison, not with inmates, but namely with the prison guards and some of the administration officials in the prison. And so, like I said, when you think about it, as we go back to the top of the letter, basically Captain Richard Faulkner and the deputy superintendent for security of Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York. So I would also like to distinguish the fact that, the one interview Tupac was talking about Rikers Island, and this letter right here basically relates to when he was actually sent to upstate New York to actually do the time that he was sentenced to. And this letter is, as you can see, is referring to the Clinton Correctional Facility. So yeah, this is proof positive, you guys. Like I said, once again, that Tupac did have a tough time in prison, but as I noted, it was not with any inmates. It was mainly with the guards in the jail. So yeah, so a lot of people, because like I said, a lot of people, I think, get it confused when we talk about like, him having problems. But I like to bring people the information, the solid information and the solid proof that this was going on. Tupac also said in another interview with Chuck Phillips, he was basically saying that, what his time was like in prison, that it was hellish. And what he meant by that interview, he was talking about Clinton Correctional Facility and it being somewhat racist, if you will, and difficult in that matter. But like I said, once again, this is the letter from 2Pac's attorney, basically addressing the situation, and basically the letter was dated July 14th, 1995, right? So yeah, proof positive that yeah, 2Pac did have a little tough time in prison. I would say that the toughest time that you could have is with the prison guards, because like I said, they can make your stay there either a good one or a bad one, or a little bit more difficult. And you see, as you see, they were definitely trying to make 2Pac's stay there difficult. They were ripping up his legal papers, harassing his wife when she came in, you know, saying that they can take care of him and not in a good way, and all of these other things, like I said. But more importantly, what this shows you is that 2Pac was a soldier through and through, and he communicated his problems, as well as had his problems addressed by the proper people who could do that. And Chokwe Lumumba, a great attorney, was one of those people. So like I said, chime in, tell me what you guys think down below in regards to this. Your boy DELRAY, straight game.